Doctor Who? More like Dr. Y. So, yeah, the question comes, why is David Tennant playing the 14th Doctor and not the 10th Doctor? And so this means that Ncuti Gatwa will be the 15th Doctor. But he's the successor to Jodie. No, he's not. David Tennant is Jodie's successor. Albeit for one episode, the 60th anniversary special. So, obviously, you get David Tennant back in there to get the fan base excited and interested after most of them have abandoned the series because it went right into the toilet. And so why not just have David Tennant? It's the 60th anniversary special. You could expect him to come back. I'm sure other doctors will appear here and there. Some older doctors appeared in Jodie's final outing. I guess that's all they get. This is a shame, but, well, what are you going to do? But David Tennant was the most popular of New Who era, easily, and the most successful. So he's kind of holds the position that Tom Baker did with the original run. And so it all makes sense, but why couldn't he just be the 10th Doctor in some, timey-wimey shenanigans? Well, you could do that, but it's also more intriguing and interesting to suddenly, there he is appearing at Jodie regenerates and she turns into David Tennant, which is also appropriate because her doctor was just a terrible impersonation of David Tennant's doctor. Yeah, that's because she didn't study up on any of it. But anyways, that's all over and done with. And then somehow her clothes regenerated as well into his new suit, which was really stupid. I mean, I guess David Tennant just didn't want to wear it. That's the deal. But I thought maybe they will explain that. Turns out she was wearing a Venom suit like Spider-Man, where he can just think it into normal clothes and change it at will. And so that's what happened when he regenerated. Then why didn't it turn into his old outfit? It's a similar style, but it's very different. Yeah, I don't know. So that's really stupid. Unless the villain of it, Doogie Howser being the Celestial Toymaker, perhaps. That's just a guess. Is doing something here, messing with it, all that. But that's the deal. It adds another layer of intrigue and, well, what's this mean? What are you doing? Now, if they're not going to retcon the Timeless Child, this is actually kind of cruel. Because instead of just having 10th Doctor shows up, teams up with the new Doctor, or teams up with Jodie, however they could have done it. But instead, no, Jodie actually regenerates into the 10th Doctor, which, again, I've seen some suggesting, and I think they've got a point, that this was kind of late in the game that they slapped this in there. Because they could have just done it where the show fades to black like The Sopranos. Jodie's regenerating, and you just don't see who the new Doctor is. And because Doctor Who was in danger of being canceled. It has fallen so far, and it's too expensive to produce, and it's like you run out of reasons and justifications to keep it going. You just don't keep it going just to save face. That doesn't make any money. And so that's the links that happened for Davies to return, and also his deal of his company taking over, and then he sells it to Sony. Sony is the money that backs up the show and all that sort of stuff. But this is the situation it's in because of how far it's fallen. And so for Davies to do this, because he didn't want the show to get canceled, and but also it gave him power over it as well. You get Tennant back because that gets the fan interest in it because he's most popular, but you do it in this intriguing way to where he's actually playing a different Doctor than he played before, even though I'm guessing he'll be more or less the same personality-wise, but this plays back to what Moffat did in the 50th anniversary special, where Tom Baker made a brief cameo and suggested that he's a Doctor from the distant future, where the Doctor returns to future selves, which is a bit odd since at the time Matt Smith assumed he was the final Doctor. He couldn't regenerate anymore. Yeah, they kind of slipped up there, didn't they? Well, anyway, they keep doing stuff like that, but nowhere near as bad as deliberately slipping up like Timeless Child. So, teasing that something bizarre and mysterious is going on, fine, but if it's not going to deal with Timeless Child, I think that's really going to piss a lot of people off. So I think the 60th special will do well. Obviously Jodie's final outing was dismal ratings and all that. But this will have quite the bump, but can they continue it? Well, I don't know. Ncuti Gatwa will be in it. I don't know how much. It's a brief tease of him asking, what's going on? Well, that is the question, isn't it, Ncuti? So just having David Tennant be the 14th Doctor instead of Ncuti being the 14th Doctor is not really a knock against him at all. He hasn't done anything yet except whatever he shot for this and whatever. I don't know if they've even started on episodes for his run, but no one's seen it. So it's none of this is on him, not yet. It's really on Chibnall and Whitaker. And the Doctor Who was in decline even as far back as Matt Smith to some extent. But it's in just the stories and teases of things that were never fulfilled and just lackluster stuff that was given to Peter Capaldi, which is absolutely a shame because he was a great Doctor. He just never got a really good story. He would get one here and there, and then they would mess it up. It was sad. And then, Jodie Whittaker, the woman Doctor, first woman. Then you immediately write the story where she isn't. You undercut it all. And then they didn't even address it in the storyline, not really. It's just all of a sudden, we're going to retcon everything to preach about toxicity of certain peoples and stuff, Yeah. So anyway, it was all a colossal waste of time and destroyed the franchise. It's too bad. So they got to have David Tennant come in and save the day, but an added touch to it, not just have him be a guest appearance or what have you. No, had to add a little something extra. So he is an actor who will play two Doctors, kind of. The 10th. Even though the numbering means nothing now, thanks to first War Doctor mistake and then Timeless Child, which is, oceans size worse than the War Doctor shenanigans. So the numbering means nothing. It's like Ncuti Gatwa will be the 1,015th Doctor. Who knows? So unless they retcon it, yeah, that would be great. That would be even better. Then I think that would give even more interest in what happens with Ncuti, So that's the deal, and that's the position Doctor Who put itself in, and it's all very sad, dubious on their chances, but it's possible. It's possible. So anyway, that's why David Tennant is there, not just as a guest cameo as the 10th Doctor, but as a new 14th Doctor, because it's intriguing. That's why. I'm hoping it means things that retcons Timeless Child narrative. Very dubious on that. I think their main approach to it is just to ignore it. That's a mistake. But hopefully not. So the idea of all this intriguing mystery and what does all this mean stuff turns out to be kind of nothing. That's not going to go well. So anyway, there it is. Best of luck to Doctor Who.